Have you ever felt like your home is just missing something? Something quiet, something sacred, something alive? You don't need acres of land or a huge backyard to build peace. Sometimes, even a corner by the window is enough to create your own Japanese-inspired garden. In this video, we'll explore Japanese garden ideas for small spaces, both indoor and outdoor, that are simple, beautiful, and possible to create even on your own. Welcome to Arkan Aesthetic Studio, a space where design meets soul, and where every video is crafted to bring more calm into your life. This video comes with chapters and timestamps, so feel free to skip around and find exactly what you need. And if you'd like to see a DIY tutorial for any of the ideas shown, just leave a comment. I'll be posting step-by-step guides in the community tab for you. To some, I may be just another creator floating on your feed. But to me, this channel is more than content. It's a lifeline. It's the voice of a quiet dream trying to be heard. Each time you like, comment, or subscribe, you're not just helping me grow a channel. You're keeping a small family's dream alive. You're fueling a journey built on love, creativity, and the belief that even stillness can be shared. So thank you, not just for watching, but for truly seeing me. One Mini Zen Rock Garden. Tucked away in a humble corner of a backyard, the world seems to slow down. Here lies a miniature Zen rock garden, so simple, and yet so deeply intentional. White gravel, raked in rhythmic curves, surrounds three smooth stones resting like thoughts in quiet meditation. A bonsai stands nearby, sturdy but soft in its elegance, casting gentle shadows beneath the morning sun. This is not a display of extravagance, but a gesture of clarity. A reminder that beauty doesn't need space, only intention. Each rock is placed with purpose. Each grain of sand speaks of stillness. The air is bright, the lines are honest, and the atmosphere feels like a breath between moments. If you've ever longed to create a place of peace within the chaos, this is an idea worth borrowing. Not everything needs to be perfect or professional. What I share here isn't a guide carved in stone, but rather a collection of thoughtful ideas anyone can try, quietly and in their own way. Notice how even a narrow patio or empty garden corner can become sacred. With little more than gravel, a few stones, and a rake, you can begin. There's no rule book to follow, only your sense of calm and a willingness to let your hands shape serenity. And in that act, in creating with care, you'll find the garden isn't just outside of you. It gently grows inward too. Two Bamboo Water Feature, Shashrodoshi. There's a kind of peace that only water can bring. Not the loud rush of a stream or the crash of waves, but a quiet drip, measured, gentle, falling from bamboo into stone. In a hidden nook of the garden, the bamboo water feature speaks without words. Its voice is rhythm, its movement, mindfulness. The water drops, pauses, and drops again. Each sound marking time not as pressure, but as presence. This is Shashrodoshi, a traditional feature from Japanese gardens that once served to startle away deer, but now startles only our distractions. You don't need a grand space to build this. Many people have recreated it using simple materials: a few bamboo stalks, a recycled stone basin, and a small recirculating pump. Everything I'm sharing here is just a spark, something real, something possible. I'm not a landscaper, just someone sharing an idea you might bring to life in your own way. The beauty lies not in how perfect it looks, but in how real it feels. Wet stones glisten in the sunlight. Moss spreads softly around the edges. The bamboo, light, warm, and unmistakably natural, leans toward the basin like a bow. And in that moment, with no sound but water meeting stone, your garden becomes something more than space. It becomes stillness. Let this inspire you to carve out a tiny sanctuary, not to impress, not to perform, but to rest and listen. Three, stepping stone path. Some gardens don't ask to be admired. They simply invite you to walk. One step, then another, on stones nestled softly in moss, drawing you deeper into the quiet. There is something ancient in the idea of a stone path, not just practical, but poetic. In Japanese garden tradition, each step matters. The rhythm of placement, the curve of the path, even the pause between stones, they're not random. They're deliberate, thoughtful, and yet, you don't need a grand space or professional hands to create something meaningful. What you're seeing here is simply a suggestion, a quiet idea that you might try in your own garden. A small project, grounded in simplicity. You could begin with large flat stones, arranged over gravel, or nestled between moss. Or let your path meander, as if it were discovering its own way forward. Let the greenery creep in around the edges, softening every line. Nature rarely draws in straight lines, and your path doesn't have to either. In some of these images, the path winds through sunlight and shadow. In others, it guides gently through trimmed bonsai and round gravel beds, a whisper of order in a space meant for reflection. This isn't a tutorial. I'm not here to prescribe perfection, just to share inspiration that feels possible, honest, and within reach. Let your path serve as more than a walkway. Let it guide the eye, slow the pace, and remind you that even short distances can be full of wonder. Sometimes, the most meaningful journeys happen just a few feet from your back door. Four, moss plus ground cover garden. There's something quietly magical about a garden that doesn't try to shine. It simply breathes. Soft to the touch, low to the earth. The moss doesn't need to bloom to be beautiful. It only needs to grow. This isn't a place that shouts for attention. It whispers. With every gentle mound of green, it invites you to slow your pace and look closer. Between the shadows, beneath the leaves, you can build this kind of serenity. Truly, I'm only sharing ideas that are possible, not perfect. These are not grand designs, but grounding ones. The kind you can recreate in your own small space, with patience and care. Let moss become the new ground beneath your feet. Let creeping time or baby's tears fill the in-betweens, the cracks, the curves, the untouched corners. In these images, light dances over velvet textures. It settles between bonsai roots, surrounds a stone lantern, curls around the edge of a path. Nothing feels forced. Every detail looks like it belongs. That's the essence of a moss garden. It blends instead of stands out. It softens the edges of modern life. And if you're wondering whether you can start your own, you can. A tray, a corner, a pot left undisturbed, moss will grow and ground will heal. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be exact. It just needs time and light and a gardener willing to listen more than control. Because sometimes, the most beautiful gardens are the ones that look like they've always been there. even if you just planted them last month. Five, compact bonsai corner. Not all beauty is loud. Some of it grows slowly, in silence, in shape, and in the stillness of a single pot. The bonsai is not a plant. It's a presence. In a corner of a quiet backyard, you'll find one resting on a wooden stool. Its branches twist gently toward the light, its roots gripping firmly into soil and time. The bark is old, yet the leaves are young, like a whisper from the past still blooming in the present. This kind of space doesn't need much. A small patch of gravel, a simple screen of bamboo, one tree. Many of us think bonsai requires mastery, but what it really asks for is attention and time. If this inspires you to try, remember, I'm only offering ideas here, not prescriptions. Just glimpses of what can be built with your own hands and your own pace. You can begin with one. Let it sit by your window or garden wall. Place it on a flat stone, or raise it gently on a stool like in the photos here. Not for show, but for respect. Some keep 2 or 3 side by side, creating a quiet dialogue between them. Others leave them alone, allowing space for shadow and breath between leaves. You don't need a greenhouse or decades of practice to start. You just need a moment to choose, to prune, to water. And slowly, it becomes a companion. Bonsai doesn't rush, and in tending to one, neither will you. Six, gravel border garden with bamboo fence. Edges matter, not because they define the limit of a space, but because they shape how we feel when we enter it. Along this quiet backyard line, gravel meets grass, stones meet roots, and just behind them, a bamboo fence stands tall, not to divide, but to soften. The warm golden stalks curve the light gently, casting shadows that dance as the day moves on. There's nothing extravagant here. No fountain, no sculpture, just rhythm. Green, rock, space, green again. You may be surprised how achievable this design really is. These borders aren't meant to overwhelm or impress. They're here to calm, to hold the rest of the garden like a breath between words. If you're considering something similar, let this be a suggestion, not a set of steps. I'm only sharing ideas that are meant to be reinterpreted in your soil, with your hands. You don't need perfection to find peace in a space, just intention. The gravel helps suppress weeds. The bamboo brings warmth. The shrubs bring life. And between them all is space, the most underestimated element in any garden. There's room here for air to move, for light to stretch, for you to step back and simply look. This kind of arrangement works even in narrow side yards or city edges. You don't need acres. You don't need a budget. You just need a desire to create something balanced. Sometimes, the border becomes the beauty, and the quiet line between things becomes the place where everything begins. Seven, mini Zen tray garden. In a quiet corner where sunlight stretches softly through a window, there rests a small wooden tray. Within it, fine white sand holds the stillness of the moment. A single stone, placed gently on a patch of moss, becomes the centerpiece. Beside it, incense leans inward, its smoke rising in delicate spirals, invisible whispers tracing silence into the air. This is a mini Zen tray garden, a deeply personal reflection of stillness you can bring into your own home. What you see here is not just decoration. It's an invitation to pause, to rake the sand with intention, to arrange the stones in a way that brings you ease. The light falls gently on the surface, casting true shadows, untouched by filters. And this is just one simple idea, a beginning. This video only offers inspiration, something you can easily try, adapt, or recreate in your own space, with your own hands, using what feels right to you. Let the morning light illuminate your shelf. Place a few stones, smooth and honest, into soft sand. Arrange them beside a bonsai or a treasured object. Watch how the curves of your rake bring patterns to life, much like ripples in still water. There's no need for perfection. The beauty lies in the moment of making. And for those who seek clarity on the desk or calm on the bedside, a tray like this is more than decor. It's a gesture of mindfulness. Something you can return to again and again. You don't need much, just a small wooden box, some clean sand, a few natural stones, and a moment of quiet. This isn't about rules or mastery. It's simply about creating a peaceful corner that's yours. Just a little place that breathes. Eight, tabletop bamboo fountain. In a quiet room where light spills gently through the paper screen, time slows. Here on the low table, a small bamboo fountain dances in a bowl of rippling water. The flow is modest, almost shy, like a whisper that hums in rhythm with your breath. The soft burble of water draws the mind inward, away from screens, noise, and haste. In such a space, even stillness becomes an experience. Creating this kind of tabletop serenity is not only possible, it's surprisingly attainable. With a few bamboo segments, a discreet pump, and a grounding vessel such as a stone bowl or a handcrafted basin, one can recreate the gentle cadence of traditional Shashrodoshi right at home. Paired with river pebbles, perhaps a bonsai nearby or a steaming cup of tea, the corner becomes a pause button for life. What you see here is not a display of perfection, but rather an invitation, an encouragement to explore calmness through your own hands. I'm simply offering ideas that are thoughtful and feasible, shared with the hope that you'll adapt them to your space in your own way. In another corner, a square basin sits cradled in a wooden frame, surrounded by a mosaic of stone and green, water trickling over polished black pebbles. The bamboo structure above feels honest and alive, with droplets clinging to its joints like morning dew. It's a reminder that serenity doesn't need grandeur. It thrives in details and intention. These miniature water features don't require vast gardens or complex systems. What they ask for is care, in setup, in spirit, and in your choice to make room for nature indoors. Letting water move through your space, even in its simplest form, can become a daily meditation. As with all the visuals in this series, this is not a tutorial but rather a nudge, something to stir your creativity. I don't claim to instruct, but to inspire. If something within these images makes your shoulders relax or your breath deepen, then perhaps it's already working. After all, in the soft murmur of water and the warmth of raw bamboo, there's a quiet wisdom. A lesson that peace isn't somewhere out there. It can be built, gently, on your table. Nine, indoor shoji divider plus plant. There is something profoundly peaceful about filtered sunlight, especially when it slips gently through shoji panels. those traditional Japanese screens of paper and wood, and falls softly on a leaf, a pot, or a quiet corner of the room. In the first image, we see a humble indoor plant standing tall in a clay pot, bathed in the natural light of late morning. The shoji screen behind it isn't merely decor, it's a whisper of privacy, an anchor of tradition. This simple pairing of wood, paper, and greenery invites stillness. You don't need elaborate changes to create such a feeling. Just a touch of green, a frame of wood, and a soft, welcoming light. Beside the bonsai in the second image, time seems to stand still. It's as if the tree has paused its growth just to listen to the silence around it. The shoji panels in the background frame its silhouette like a living painting. If you're wondering whether you need a spacious home to build something like this, you don't. A small stool, a window, and a sense of care are more than enough. These visuals are simply meant to inspire. They are ideas within reach. And finally, in the third image, a peace lily rests gracefully before a folding shoji screen. The sofa nearby suggests this is a shared space, a living room, perhaps. But this soft partition transforms the room into something meditative. Even in a modern home, the presence of a natural screen can define mood and intention. The use of simple wood and white paneling, clean, timeless, gives both contrast and calm. None of this asks for perfection. The goal is not to imitate a temple in Kyoto, but to borrow its serenity in spirit. You don't need to follow rules. You only need to listen to what calms you. And just to be clear, I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do. These are only suggestions. Soft, personal interpretations that you can adapt however you wish, as long as it brings peace into your space and rhythm into your day. May you find a stillness of your own, in some sunny corner, beneath your very own tree. Tatami mat plus corner plant setup. In a quiet corner of a sunlit room, where the soft warmth of morning light gently brushes against wood and paper, we find simplicity dressed in elegance. A tatami mat stretches across the floor like woven calm, while a potted bamboo plant stands poised, its leaves catching the glow. The shoji screens filter sunlight like whispers, letting in peace without intrusion. The shadows they cast move slowly, like time itself is choosing not to hurry. Here, design is not merely decoration. It is a quiet reminder of balance. You don't need sprawling landscapes or expensive furnishings to evoke the spirit of a Japanese garden. A single plant in the right light, a natural fiber mat beneath your feet, and the restraint of space left intentionally empty. These are the elements that create stillness. One image reveals a low cushion resting near stacked books, inviting you to pause and read, or to simply sit with your thoughts. The ambience is entirely achievable. A clay pot, a living plant, and filtered sunlight. And while no instruction here claims to be definitive, I'm sharing a vision, an idea meant to be reimagined, reshaped, and recreated in your own corner of the world. Another frame captures a lone bonsai standing proud upon a wooden pedestal. Its form, twisted, resilient, alive, echoes the quiet strength often found in silence. A room does not need to be full to feel complete. Sometimes, what we don't place is just as powerful as what we do. Please know, these visuals and thoughts are offered not as rigid formulas but as soft-spoken inspiration. Ideas like these are shared with the hope that you'll find your own rhythm, something reasonable, tangible, and real enough to build with your own hands. Whether you choose a tall green plant, a compact bonsai, or simply a place on the floor to breathe a little deeper, the goal remains the same: peace made visible. 11. Stone and pebble tray near entryway. The entrance of a home is more than just a threshold. It's a gentle prelude to what lies beyond. In traditional Japanese design, this space is treated not as a transition, but a transformation, from the busyness of the outside world into an inner sanctuary of quiet. In the soft hush of early morning light, a humble tray rests by the door. It holds nothing more than river stones, each one chosen not for perfection, but for character, smooth, cool, aged by water and time. Beside them, a flickering lantern softly glows, mirroring the rhythm of stillness. No decoration here is loud, and yet each detail is deeply intentional. This isn't just design, it's presence. It's mindfulness before you've even taken off your shoes. You don't need a large space to recreate this. In fact, the beauty lies in how minimal the setup truly is. A wooden tray, collected stones, even pebbles from your last nature walk, and a soft-lit candle are enough to evoke the feeling. This is simply an idea, a small doorway ritual that can be done by anyone, with ordinary materials, repurposed beautifully. Just a few steps inward, another version of this quiet greeting appears. A rectangular floor frame, carefully bordered in wood. Inside, light gray stepping stones are set among dark gravel, and in the corner, a potted palm stretches softly toward the light. It is not grand. It is not loud. It is simply still. And that is more than enough. These ideas are shared not as rules, but as inspiration. As something you might try at home if your heart feels drawn to this kind of simplicity. It's less about how perfect it looks and more about how it makes you feel each time you return home. And finally, by the base of a shoe shelf, a simple gray tray catches the eye. Filled with a mix of ivory and charcoal pebbles, it rests quietly near the sliding glass. Practical, yes, but also poetic. This small act of arranging natural elements near your door becomes a moment of intention, of storytelling without words. Here, nature isn't just outdoors. It walks in with you. And in this way, you carry a little peace wherever you go. Please remember, this is just one of many serene ideas that can easily be reimagined in your own way. No strict design rules, just inspiration meant to gently guide, should you feel called to create a corner of calm at home. If this video meant something to you, please know that subscribing means the world to me. You're not just supporting content, you're supporting a dream that keeps my family going. Thank you, truly. I'd also love to hear from you. What did you enjoy the most? Is there anything I could do better to keep inspiring or simply entertaining you? Your feedback helps this channel grow with heart and purpose. Let me know in the comments. I read every one.